Hey, so I am going to share a cautionary tale against Black love using myself as an example, okay? Because listen, I get a lot of people asking me why I encourage single Black women to explore your options when it comes to dating and marriage when I am married to a Black man currently. I'm going to tell you why. Being laser focused on the image of a Black family can cause you to overlook a lot of things when you're dating because you're so focused on that fairy tale of, okay, you're the Black wife to your Black husband and you want to have some beautiful Black ass kids, right? So you get so focused on that image that there are a lot of other things that you don't consider. And I honestly believe that if more of us broadened our idea of what a husband looks like or what our children look like, then maybe we wouldn't end up in some of the situations that married Black women find ourselves in. So the other thing that concerns me is that you have so many people encouraging younger Black women to pursue relationships and marriages with older Black men. And there are a lot of important topics being left out of those conversations. If you are an unmarried Black woman of reproductive age and you know you want to have children, you might want to be really careful only focusing on Black men. And I'm going to tell you why. You have to look at the fact that Black men are disproportionately affected by prostate issues, heart disease, and high blood pressure. And all three of those conditions can affect a man's ability to produce testosterone, which means that it can make it more difficult for him to get you pregnant as he gets older. Okay? That's being left out of these conversations. What Black women are being sold is, well, an older Black man might be more financially established, so you can get the money, you can get the house, you can get the nice cars if you date 10 to 20 years older. But what nobody tells you is dating a Black man in that age range, more likely than not, is going to mean that you're dealing with a man whose fertility is probably compromised. That is the situation that I found myself in a year into my marriage. We'd been trying to have a baby. I wasn't getting pregnant. So when I went to my well care exam in 2017, I asked my doctor if she could refer me to a fertility specialist. And she did it with one condition. She said, I will refer you to this particular specialist if you promise me that you'll take your husband with you to have his fertility checked. She said, because a lot of times when women are not getting pregnant, they assume that they're the issue. But she was like 15 to 20% of the time, it could be that the man that she's involved with has compromised fertility. Okay? So when I had this conversation with my husband, that's when he made an admission to me. And I'm not going to go too far into it because there is a sensitivity to talking about someone else's health. But what I will say is basically he knew years before we got married that he could not naturally get a woman pregnant. So outside of fertility or surrogacy, he cannot have children. And in the ways that many of us as Black women do, Instead of going around telling all my family members and friends and people on here what I had found out, I covered for him. When people would ask me why I don't have children, I would say, well, I have fibroids, which I do have them. But the reality is, and you can ask any gynecologist, the reality is that many, if not the majority, of women of reproductive age, women in their childbearing years, will have fibroids, particularly as you get into your 30s and early 40s. And in most cases, they don't stop you from being able to have a healthy pregnancy. As a matter of fact, once you get past a certain age, it's easier for them to manage a pregnancy with you having fibroids than it is for them to manage a pregnancy with you having had the surgery to remove them and then you get pregnant, because they have to deal with the possibility that your uterus hasn't fully healed from the surgery. Okay? The reason I'm saying all of this is because if younger black women could learn to open up their minds when it comes to what it is when you see yourself with a husband or you see yourself with children, you might be able to find a man that's closer to your age, that still has all the things you want in terms of looks, money, so on and so forth. But you might be able to find a man that's a little bit younger and a little bit closer to your age to date and marry. And that way you don't have to be as concerned with his ability to have children. And also, I'm telling you, now, listen, men across racial lines can lie, but I'm telling you, because a lot of black men know that so many black women are committed to this idea of black love, I'm telling you, people will lie to you and then act like you're wrong for feeling the depth of that lie. There's only one person on here who really knows, like, how much this has hurt me and how difficult this journey has been over the past 4 years. And she knows who she is, and I want to thank her for never throwing it in my face, for never using it as a weapon against me, and for never discussing it with other people. Because women who go through things like this need to be able to have the conversations, particularly if we want to warn other black women. We need to be able to have the conversation in a way where other people don't come along and weaponize that information. And we need to have the conversation in a way where we can be honest with you. A lot of black women, I'm going to stick to it. A lot of black women who are in seemingly ideal marriages are covering. We're covering for our husbands for various different reasons. And that has to stop. It's not emotionally healthy for us to do that. And then also it's very dangerous because it presents a false ideal to younger black women. So what I will say to you is this. If you're a younger black woman and you have a preference for older men, regardless of that man's race, before you marry him, make him take you to his urologist appointments with you so you can know the deal and make sure that he is able to give you that family that you want and you deserve. Okay? We'll talk soon.